A couple were sleeping at home one night. At midnight, Emily received a phone call. Without telling anyone, she decided to go to the address mentioned on the call. When she reached the location, she was shocked to see her boss there. He told her that if she wanted a promotion, she would have to do him a favor. It was a deal. The girl agreed, and after that night, everything changed. The movie opens with a grand party where people are enjoying themselves amidst laughter, jokes, and loud music. Among them, we see Emily, who steps out onto the terrace to relax and smoke a cigarette. Her boyfriend Nick is also at the party. He confidently takes her inside and introduces her to his brother and uncle. They instantly like Emily and praise her, telling Nick that she's a wonderful girl and he should marry her soon before he loses her. Hearing this makes both of them happy, and they step aside to share a kiss. Things start getting, but Emily suddenly stops because she realizes she's on her. At that moment, Nick surprises her by proposing marriage. Emily is shocked and asks if he's drunk. Nick replies that he wasn't before, but now he's intoxicated by her love. Overwhelmed with happiness, Emily says yes. After waiting so long, Nick has finally proposed. They're so excited that they leave the party early. The next morning, they wake up together. Emily has a smile on her face and still can't believe they're going to get married. She texts her mom to tell her that Nick proposed and that she's now engaged. After that, they both get ready for work and leave separately. Even though they work at the same company, their relationship is completely secret because office policy doesn't allow workplace romance. If anyone finds out, they could lose their jobs. Even in the elevator, they act like strangers and go about their work in a way that no one would suspect they're about to get married. During work, Emily hears from a colleague that Nick might soon receive a major promotion along with a big salary increase. She immediately goes to congratulate him, clearly happy for his success. That evening, they celebrate at home, and their romance doesn't slow down at all. Nick is excited, believing that his hard work is finally paying off. However, he doesn't realize that the very promotion bringing them closer will soon become the most toxic test of their relationship. That same night, the story takes a turn. Emily receives a call from a colleague who says he needs to discuss something important and asks her to meet at a cafe. Without thinking much, Emily agrees. Soon, she reaches the cafe, but is surprised to see her boss instead of her colleague. The boss casually says that the colleague had to leave. Emily feels uncomfortable, wondering why her boss called her alone. During the conversation, he starts asking about her ambitions and career goals, explaining that success doesn't come from hard work alone. It also requires timing, intelligence, and willpower. Then he says something Emily is completely unprepared for. He tells her that he sees potential in her and wants to offer her the next project manager position. Until now, Emily believed that promotion was meant for Nick. She feels happy, but also guilty. She doesn't refuse because she knows that rejecting him could cost her job. She understands his intentions and quietly returns home. As soon as she arrives, Nick asks her who called her to the cafe so late at night. Emily tells the truth that it was their boss who called her. Nick is a bit shocked and asks if the boss tried anything inappropriate by calling her alone. Emily says no, nothing like that happened. Then she adds something that she knows will hurt him, that the boss has given her the promotion and she's going to be the next project manager. The moment she says this, the atmosphere in the room completely changes. Nick was the one expected to become, and both of them had been excited about it. Emily feels terrible, but Nick composes himself. He hugs her and says maybe the boss saw her abilities, and there's nothing wrong with that. The conversation ends there, but a subtle distance starts growing between them. The next day at the office, reactions become obvious. Some colleagues are happy for Emily, but many male coworkers aren't. They make comments behind her back, suggesting she must have done something to impress the boss and get the promotion. Emily tries to ignore all this and focuses on her work, but Nick starts pulling away. Deep down, he feels like something inappropriate might have happened between Emily and the boss. Later, as Emily is leaving the office, her mom calls to talk about planning an engagement party. Emily tells her not to tell anyone yet. Since their relationship is secret at work, things could get complicated. Her mom doesn't argue, and Emily heads home. When she gets there, Nick isn't home. She calls him, but his phone is off. Emily realizes he's upset, and probably because of the promotion. She knows where he might be, so she goes straight to a cafe. There, she finds Nick sitting alone, drinking. It hurts her to see him like this, knowing how important that promotion was to him. Nick tries to stay positive, and they sit together and drink. Emily reassures him that he's talented and will get promoted in the future. She promises to help him in every way she can, but Nick refuses, saying he doesn't need help. He wants to earn the promotion on his own. After that, he goes quiet. Deep inside, though, he's still disturbed by what happened that night. Why the boss gave Emily the promotion when he believed he's more capable. From the next day onward, Nick throws himself completely into work. He works overtime, prepares reports, analyzes data, doing everything he can. Emily supports him as well. Nick creates detailed client profiles and reports, and Emily forwards them to the boss, trying to highlight Nick's work. But the boss isn't impressed. He questions Nick's abilities, saying he doesn't have what it takes yet and that Emily shouldn't focus so much on him. This hurts both of them deeply. After this, Nick becomes obsessed with proving himself. He starts watching skill building and motivational videos, trying to improve. That same night, Emily comes home a little drunk. Nick knows the boss had taken her to a party, so he doesn't say much. Emily tells him that the boss doesn't have a good attitude toward him and often speaks negatively about him. Nick says it doesn't matter, but the truth is, it affects him a lot. These words start to eat away at him, and his emotional bond with Emily slowly weakens. Nick is falling apart internally, but he doesn't really express it to Emily. One day, we see Nick taking the bus to work, while Emily arrives in a company car. At the office, she's laughing and chatting with the boss. Watching this, something inside Nick breaks, but he stays silent. Now Nick stops going out in the evenings and always makes excuses to avoid spending time with Emily. She starts going out alone, while Nick stays home after work, keeping himself busy. After her promotion, Emily also begins to change. She starts seeing Nick a bit differently. One night, Emily brings dessert for him, but Nick refuses, saying he's already full and keeps his distance. Then one day at the office, following Nick's advice, Emily invests in a company. At first, everything seems fine, but within hours, the stock value crashes and the company suffers a loss of around $25 million. It's a massive shock. Emily gets angry at Nick. Although the final decision was hers, she had trusted his advice before investing. As a result, the boss takes all his anger out on Emily. Emily assures her boss that she will recover the loss. After that, she dives completely into her work. This time, she studies every report and every piece of data herself, without relying on anyone's advice. Soon, she learns about a company whose court decision is expected in a few days. Emily had been waiting for an opportunity like this, so she decides to invest in that company's stock. All her colleagues warn her not to take such a big risk, but Emily makes up her mind. No matter what the outcome is, she's going to take the risk. Meanwhile, the distance between her and Nick continues to grow, both at the office and at home. One day, Emily approaches him and says she wants to be close to him. She tries to, but Nick stops midway, making an excuse that he's not in the mood. It's clear that Emily's promotion has deeply affected him. Then the day of the court decision arrives, and the company wins the case. Emily's decision turns out to be a huge success. The company not only recovers the earlier losses, but makes an even bigger profit. Everyone at the office is thrilled. The boss, who had previously yelled at Emily, now praises her and even apologizes for his behavior. Fully impressed, he rewards her with a commission of $600,000 for the massive win. Emily is overjoyed. She texts Nick, asking him to go out and celebrate. But Nick doesn't reply. He doesn't even look at her. At that moment, the boss approaches Emily and suggests going to a pub. Emily thinks that if Nick doesn't want to come, she won't force him, so she agrees to go with the boss. That night, after celebrating at the club, Emily returns home drunk. Seeing her like that, Nick gets angry. Emily tries to calm him down and even gets a little romantic, but Nick refuses, saying she's drunk. Then Emily jokingly says that if he makes her happy, she could get him a promotion, and asks why he's been acting like such a loser lately. Hearing this, Nick snaps. He accuses her of running after the boss the moment she saw money, acting like she's some kind of leader, and forgetting that a good girl doesn't come home drunk after partying with men. These words hurt Emily deeply. She realizes this is no longer just about a promotion. It has turned into a battle of ego and power. Their relationship is now filled with more toxicity than love. The next day at the office, things get even worse. Colleagues start gossiping about Emily and her boss going out together, making inappropriate comments. Hearing this fuels Nick's anger and jealousy even more. Around the same time, Nick learns that another project manager position has opened up. His frustration turns into desperation. He goes straight to the boss's cabin and almost begs for the promotion. He says he has always wanted to be like him and has worked hard to become worthy of it. But the boss bluntly tells him that this kind of behavior doesn't earn jobs or promotions. Capability isn't claimed, it's proven. Nick still asks for one chance, but the boss informs him that they've already hired a talented PM for the position. This completely shatters Nick. Furious, he storms out of the office. At home, Emily tries to comfort him again. She tells him she's already found another job opportunity for him. But Nick, now filled with anger and frustration, isn't in the mood to talk. Just then, Emily's mom calls about planning their engagement reception. Emily refuses, saying they're going through problems. Immediately after, Emily gets a call from her boss. Nick angrily tells her not to pick up, saying no boss calls this late at night unless he has different intentions and that he's trying to take advantage of her. This time, Emily loses her patience. She snaps back, saying the one taking advantage of her is actually Nick. That completely triggers him. They start yelling at each other, and the argument goes on for a long time. The next day, Nick doesn't show up at the office. When colleagues ask, Emily says he's on leave, but the boss insists that Nick must attend an important meeting. Emily keeps calling him, but he doesn't answer. She leaves him a voicemail, reminding him about the reception party and apologizing for her behavior, but there's no response. Later, when the meeting starts, Nick suddenly shows up completely drunk. He barges into the meeting room and starts shouting at everyone. He lashes out at the boss, saying no one likes him, that he makes employees work like dogs, and then throws them away. In his anger, he reveals a major truth, that he and Emily have been living together for the past 2 years. He also blurts out that Emily once told him she could get him promoted if he made her happy. After saying all this, Nick storms out and turns off his phone. Emily is furious at what he's done. She leaves him a voicemail, telling him that if he wants to break up, he should face her and do it directly instead of creating a scene out of ego and frustration. She goes looking for him in several places, but he's nowhere to be found and doesn't answer his phone. That night, the reception party begins. Nick is already there. As soon as Emily arrives, he tries to humiliate her in front of everyone, saying that her job and promotion are because of her looks, not her talent. Emily fires back at him, and the argument escalates even further. In the end, Nick crosses the line and says something so disgusting about her and the boss that Emily completely loses control. In a burst of anger, she hits him on the head with a bottle and storms out. The next day at the office, Emily tells her boss that Nick's spreading rumors that they were living together. She says he couldn't handle her success and, out of jealousy, made up all those stories. The boss tells her that Nick's career is basically over now. He won't be able to get a job at any company. He advises her to forget about him and focus on her future. Later, Emily returns home and finds Nick packing his things. He's about to leave the apartment for good. Emily decides to confront him one last time. She asks him to apologize, but when he doesn't respond and says he has ruined her life, destroyed her career, and humiliated her in front of everyone she knows. In a fit of rage, she slashes his hand and orders him to get on his knees. Nick is completely broken at this point. He genuinely starts apologizing, admitting that he made a huge mistake. He says he doesn't know what came over him, that his ego made him do terrible things. Emily breaks down in tears too, because she truly loved him. But this time, she doesn't forgive him. She realizes that people like Nick never really change. He would never be able to accept that she could succeed beyond him. This becomes their final meeting. In the end, she tells him to take his ego and get out of her life, and with that, the story comes to an end.